Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, here to talk all about a game that I am very excited for it to finally come out on PC. I say finally, but it's only 9 months after its initial PlayStation 5 release, and that is Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I loved Death Stranding 2, you guys. I love Death Stranding 1 as well. I've talked up that game several times on this channel. But Death Stranding 2, I thought, was orders and orders of magnitude better than Death Stranding 1. And I'll go over all of my thoughts on that in this video. I do want to note that Death Stranding 2, incredibly excited for it to come to PC. Kind of think that $70 price tag is a little bit hefty for a game that's 9 months old and it's coming out on a delay on PC. You know, $59.99 would have made a big difference to me, but thankfully our friends over at Green Man Gaming do have the game discounted. You want to use the code FEB15 to save 15% off on the game, and it'll knock it down to $59.49. You can get the deluxe edition as well. I wouldn't get the deluxe edition, I would just get the base game. $59.49. You'll get a Steam code, and if you're watching this video in March, the code will probably change to MAR15 for March 15, but right now, as of the recording of this video, it's Feb 15. So, yeah, I do think that $70 price tag is a bit hefty. I also will say this. Look, I think the game is going to do okay on PC. Coming out on the same day as Crimson Desert is a death wish. It's just a death wish, I'm sorry. Big open world titles like this, big narrative heavy games, just undertakings like this. What do you think people are going to go with? Death Stranding 2, it's a game that obviously you need to play the first one because it is narrative heavy, and then on top of that, it's a delayed release coming out on the same day as one of the biggest game releases of the year. I get that a lot of the times the games just come out when the games come out, and maybe there's a lot of other circumstances and moving parts that I can't assess, but I think this game is going to do really, really disappointing when you assess the concurrent player count number. I just think people are going to be shocked, just because these are both intensive undertakings, lengthy games, and what are people going to decide? A lot of people are just going to go with Crimson Desert because it's the new game, but I digress. A lot of credit to the team over at Nixxes Software and Kojima Productions because they've put out the full breakdown. A month before the release of the game, they put out 4 different tiers of system requirements, and they put out a lot of information, so let's go over the blog post. Death Stranding 2 on the beach is making its way to PC. Behalf of the teams at Nixxes Software and Kojima Productions, I'd like to share the details on the PC system requirements with all porters that'll start their journey on March the 19th. With its release on PlayStation 5, Death Stranding 2 established itself as an award-winning graphical showcase with highly detailed landscapes and photorealistic characters. At Nixxes, when bringing games over to PC, we take pride in delivering a smooth experience with the best possible visuals on a wide variety of hardware. Death Stranding 2 for PC offers a range of graphics presets from low to very high, catering to both budget gaming PCs and high-end systems. We've also added a portable preset aimed at handheld gaming devices for those porters who want to keep going while on the go, so that's fantastic. They're already making it known that Steam Deck is going to be something you could play this game on, and I know a lot of people really dug Death Stranding 1 on the deck, so more power to you. This is a game that, when I do get around to playing the PC version, because I already beat the game on PlayStation 5, and Crimson Desert is just going to take priority for the time being. I'm going to play it on my desktop, but nonetheless, to ensure you're well prepared, they have 4 tiers of system requirements, so let's break it all down. Minimum for low graphics preset, 1080p, 30 frames per second, GTX 1660, and an RX 5500 XT, Intel Core i3 10100, and a Ryzen 3 3100, 16 gigs of RAM. Seems pretty simple stuff. I will say 150 gigabyte storage space. Oh my god. Medium settings at 1080p at 60 FPS. RTX 3060 and RX 6600. Yeah, that's about in line with what a lot of these more intensive games have been recommending for 1080p. i5 11400, Ryzen 5 5600, 16 gigs of RAM. High, this is recommended. So this is high settings, 1440p at 60 frames per second. You're looking at an RTX 3070 and a Radeon RX 6800, i7 11700 or a Ryzen 7 5700X and 16 gigs of RAM. And then very high, this is 4K 60 frames per second, RTX 4080 or AMD Radeon RX 9070 XT, Intel Core i7 11700 and an AMD Ryzen 7 5700X, 16 gigs of RAM there as well. All that are the different tiers for Death Stranding 2 on the beach. 4 different tiers, which, ideally I would like to see 6, and I would like some clarity with, a performance with DLSS and things of that nature, but they do note performance-enhancing options. The PC edition of Death Stranding 2 launches with support for DLSS 4, AMD FSR 4, and Intel XeSS 2. I would imagine that the requirements that they have is without upscaling, just because there's no clarification, and then on top of that, with how this blog post is structured, the performance enhancing options comes after the system requirements. So that's what I would expect, but who knows. For the first time on PC, you'll find Pico as an option in upscale setting. This is Progressive Image Compositor, and it's developed by Gorilla for the Decima engine, and is the same upscaling technology that's used for Death Stranding 2 on PS5. Pico upscaling can be used with all supported graphics cards and can be combined with the various options for frame gen offered in the game. That's pretty cool. All upscaling options can be used in combination with dynamic resolution scaling or with an upscaling quality setting of choice to improve performance. Native AA options are also available for maximum fidelity. They go over ultra-wide views, which a game like Death Stranding 2, if you have an ultra-wide monitor, it is going to be gorgeous on that. Like, when you just think about the kind of game Death Stranding 2 is, from the long distance and the vistas that's available in the game, man, this is one of those games that ultra-wide users are going to be feasting on. We can also confirm that the previously announced Porter Suit Link and Patch Link, both inspired by the PlayStation logo, will be rewarded to all PS5 porters via an update when the PC version launches. PC porters will get access to these items as a bonus reward for connecting their account for PlayStation. Look, I got no problem with that. If you want to give bonus items that are inconsequential as a bonus to linking your account to the PlayStation Network on a PC, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. It is what it is. Don't make it mandatory, but this is the way to go, and I'm so excited for this release on PC. However, like I said, the release being on the same day as Crimson Desert, I just think is setting itself up for, being at like 18,000 concurrent players peak. And I might be far off on that. It might hit 30, 40,000. I would love for it to hit 50, 60,000, around that range. But it being $70, it being a game that you guys just gotta remember, Death Stranding 1 was an incredibly divisive game. While I love Death Stranding, Death Stranding is literally my cup of tea. It's like what I like out of my video games a lot of the time. I totally get why people have had their issues with the game and they drop it. So many of my friends, and more so from a casual sense, my casual friends that I've recommended the game, I want to say the actual completion rate among my friends that I've recommended Death Stranding to and have them had it checked out has to be like 20%. So many times have I heard, drop this game after like 7 or 8 hours, around that range. But I feel like Death Stranding is one of those games that the more time you give it to it, it rewards you. And Death Stranding 2 is so much better than Death Stranding 1 that I can't recommend you just skipping Death Stranding 1 and playing Death Stranding 2. I really can't do that. But, man, if you had your issues with Death Stranding 1, I still feel like Death Stranding 2 is a worthwhile game to check out because it's so much better in my opinion. I've talked to some people that like Death Stranding 1 better, but I think Death Stranding 2 is just orders and orders of magnitude a better game. But we'll see how it does. Again, our friends at Green Man Gaming do have it a bit discounted, so check it out over there. Link in the description box below. If you end up picking it up, we do get an affiliate kickback, so that is much appreciated. Incredibly excited about Death Stranding 2's PC release. Again, the release date is what it is. Sometimes these games just gotta come out, but I think most people are gonna be hard-pressed to be dropping $70 on 2 titles, like $70 a pop. That's a lot of money, and I just think most people are gonna go the Crimson Desert route. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.